All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome everybody. It's your boy Marvin Melendez. You're listening to All My Friends Talk podcast, where I talk to all my creative artists, friends, and all around amazing people and advocates. So, joining me for my first podcast, I have Allie the Goodwich. What is up, Allison?
Hi Marvin.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So you're still going by Allie the Goodwich on stage, right?
Yeah. I'm
More
like
or
trying
less.
to play around with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. So let's talk real quick. So you are a stand-up comedian,
correct.
and very funny one at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really,
Appreciate
really
that.
like your comedy a lot. So how did you get into it?
So it was after my divorce. I was
Okay.
looking for something, to do just for me. And I was packing away some books in the office of my old house. And there was a book that was about how to do stand up, and I started reading it. I was like, wow,
Wow.
this is just like therapy. I was like, I'm already doing this.
Gotcha. So the books helped you.
Yes, yeah. And so I was like, I think I could do this. And then it kind of just became its own thing, and I went with it.
Gotcha. So I listen to a lot of different like comedy podcasts, comedians. So there's always like this divide between like joke writing classes or books or just like going up there and figuring it out. Um, so you are an advocate for like people going to joke writing classes and stuff.
um, for me personally, I would have never done stand up if I didn't read a book, but that's just me. Like, I'm a nerd. I have to know everything before I get on stage to do it. If people
Yeah.
like want to wing it, that's their thing. But for me personally, I have to know what I'm getting myself into.
So this is something I tried comedy a few times. I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
But one thing I realized the last time I did it, I bombed hard. Like I got
Oh
no laughs.
yeah.
It was but it's funny because like
Oh
there's
yeah.
one other comedian in the back, and I could tell he could feel me bombing, and I'm starting to lose my grip on stage. And so he's like just laughing, like giving that supportive laugh, but I know he's like the
Yeah.
jokes aren't landing with him either. But he's so I don't know if that made it worse or better, but so when a joke isn't working for you, how do you navigate around that? How do you figure it out?
Now I've learned to kind of acknowledge it. I'm like, all
Okay,
right, well, and I usually will find something to do to try to save it, depending on
gotcha.
the audience. So yeah, bombing is, yeah, no
It,
joke.
yeah. Do you have any good
Something
bomb
we all
stories?
have to do. Oh, oh my gosh. Oh, there's this people from work come to my comedy, and it's always embarrassing to bomb, especially like, guys like comedy, right? So they'll like
Yeah.
trash talk you, like, oh yeah, you think you're funny, you think you're hot, like, oh
Yeah.
okay, let's see what you got. And this guy had been like just mad trash talking me, and I'm like, just wait till you see me on stage, brother. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
funny. I got on stage, and it was this joke. Like, I knew, like, it has killed and killed and killed, and it was the first time that joke bombed, and I just
Oh
ate
no.
it.
That sucks.
His girlfriend was there. She's like, no, this joke, I've never seen this joke not go over well, and it
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
embarrassing. Yeah, but it's a part of it. I mean, you get so much stronger. You learn more from the bombs than you do from the laughs.
Yeah. So, okay, so take me through this process. So if you go up there and a joke doesn't work, how do you know
Yeah.
to try it again like in another set, or whether you're just gonna scrap it, or how do you know whether that joke needs tweaking? Like where do you find that balance?
So you look, so try again. So if it's something that you really feel passionate about, if you like the joke, it's worth working on, just
Okay.
record. Yeah, just record. Figure out where you can tweak it. Um,
Do you record all
Definitely,
your
it's
sets?
not all of them. I should record all of them. I've been doing good about the audio lately.
Okay.
But that's where I learn. I go back and I will go through to like listen to my biggest laughs, my weird awkward pauses, what I could say next time, why
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't go over well. And it's one of those things you just have to keep trying until you figure it out.
Yeah, that's so true. Even doing this podcast, so when I was doing this podcast with Benji, I would listen to it every week, and I would listen to it on every platform that we have. And it's kind
Yeah,
of weird hearing your own voice over and over again, but you're
it
finding these
is.
awkward like or these weird pauses, and so then the next week it's like, okay, I remember there's my very first podcast. I said someone counted out for me that I said right 40 times in 1 hour. And so ever since then, I have avoided the word right like the plague. Like that's like a cuss word to me. I was like, I'm not doing this. Absolutely not. Like I'm never
That's how
saying.
you do it. You
Yeah,
gotta,
you
that's how you just have to. I was doing cheerleading poses my first time doing comedy.
know it.
And I didn't know that I was doing it. It just like automatically went into my muscle memory of being nervous on stage. And I was like very rhythmically doing awkward cheerleading poses. And I
That's
definitely got
so
a
funny.
comedian to ask me, like, were you doing cheer poses on stage? Were you a cheerleader in high school? And I was like, yeah, didn't expect
um,
that to come out, but whatever.
yeah. So what is your writing process? Do you actually write down in like in a journal?
Yes. Like I'm constantly thinking about a joke. I'm constantly, yeah, I have a journal that I write in.
Okay.
It's a very intimate process for me to write. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
Uh,
I usually,
so I'll go
yeah,
ahead.
no, you're good.
Okay, cool. Well, like I just feel like whenever like for comedians especially, there's a lot of frustration with comedians either saying something that's a little vulgar or just not as
Hmm.
politically correct. Do you ever catch any of that heat?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes,
What do you do with it?
absolutely. Oh, I just go with the people like usually laugh harder because it's so inappropriate, or like, oh, and I'm like, oh, someone didn't like that. Like any kind of reaction I'll get, I'll just go with it and just.
That's so
I have
funny.
some Donald Trump. My vision board is my most provocative piece of art, and I'm very proud of it. But
Your
so
vision board. What do you mean by that?
it's a vision board about Allie taking over the world, and it's just a joke about what I would do if I took over the world. And it's Karen for president 2020.
Wait,
And
Karen, is that a thing
any
you?
any Karen, any Karen, it doesn't matter. Any Karen will do.
There's this whole meme going around, or not meme, but like I saw this article that went viral about how it's so like how the name like people making fun of the Karens in the world that's like discriminatory against women and that's hate on any Karens that are really out there. And it's like I get it, but it's a joke, you know?
Right.
So
Well, I am
people
liberating Karen. Karen, you should be president. Like, you're awesome, Karen. Do it. Just do it. And then I have Donald Trump in a handmaid's costume. Like, obviously, I don't support human trafficking. So the
yeah.
only trafficking would be politicians bringing all women pumpkin spice lattes all year round.
That's
So
awesome.
I try to just like
That's
it's like making humor of like something that's like very difficult to talk about or just putting a different spin on it. And usually people are like, wow, you're out there, Allie. And I'm like, thanks. That's what I was going for.
so. Have you ever heard of comedian Andrew Schultz?
Yes. I'm trying to think of his jokes.
He's on YouTube. If you don't know him, you should look him
Oh,
up.
okay.
He's hands down my favorite comedian right now. But
Ooh,
one
I
thing
gotta
that
definitely check that.
yeah, so one thing he talks about a lot on his podcast is that for most comedians, like life is just difficult, either in the upbringing or in difficult seasons. So rather
Hmm.
than like just taking it, they wind up just using like learning how to laugh it off and just learning how to just roll with it and just laugh at themselves and make it funnier. And it sounds like that's something a lot that just through this podcast that we've been talking about, it seems like, there's a lot of difficult things that happen and you're just like, you know what, whatever, I'm going to roll with it and I'm just going to laugh about it.
Correct. Yeah. Like my one, I have a joke about infertility, which is like the most difficult thing that I've ever experienced in my adult life is like infertility. And
Wow.
I have a joke about that, about my fallopian tubes are closed tighter than my French bulldog's nasal passages. So it's It's like such an intimate process because it doesn't start that way. It starts with me crying about something. I'm upset, I'm
Yeah.
crying, I'm depressed, I'm like in this dark, dark place. I'm like, how do I get out of here? I need to get out of here. And the more I work with the pain is the more it just creates itself, and it just, I can be light about it. And then
Yeah.
when I'm light about it, then everything kind of clicks into place.
I remember essentially because when we first, I reached out to you a couple years ago because I was thinking about getting into comedy because I want to write a play about it.
Yes, I remember that.
And I was like, hey, you're doing comedy now. Like, tell me a little bit about it. And the one thing that you said to me, which is why I asked you on this podcast, is that you said it was an outlet for you, that it was like it's become a place where you just kind of like, I guess, since like be free, I think. Would that be the right
Yes.
word?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, it's important for, I think, everyone to have a place where, like, if it's not a therapy, find like a
Yes.
creative outlet to just, there's things I would write when I was doing poetry a lot. There's things I wouldn't tell my family about, or like, I
Mhm.
remember she's not my wife, but I showed a new poem to my girlfriend, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm fine, like, I'm fine. And it took her like an hour, and like an hour later, she's like, Marvin, I need to know that you're fine. I was like, I am fine. Like, I
Yes.
am okay. But it's because
Yeah, everyone has
you,
an emo side. The happiest people have an emo side. Everyone does.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So something I want to ask you about is you're a mom. Like, I've heard that you talk about that in your comedy a lot, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
you have kids. And so I just turned 30 this past April. And
Oh, happy birthday.
I know. It's weird talking to you being 30 because like I met you in middle school, so now it's like here we
I
are
know.
all
We
these
grew
years
up
later.
together.
Yes.
This is so weird.
So you're a mom and for me when I found out I had it like my wife is pregnant coming due September. I was
Oh,
like,
congratulations.
thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The first thought to me was like I was excited. I was happy. Of course, like it's a miracle of life. But at the same time, there's like an honest fear of, okay, now that I have kids, like, I'm not gonna be able to pursue like create like my creativity. I'm not gonna be able to pursue like the entertainment world. I'm not gonna be able to act anymore. I'm not gonna be able to write poetry as often as I used to. It's um,
Right.
I'm 30. I'm a parent. How have you handled that? Like, how, because you're still going out. I mean, when quarantine's over, and we'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, I'm assuming when quarantine's over, you're still going to go back up on stage
Oh,
and do your
yes.
thing.
First
How are
thing
you?
first chance I get. I am like an Instapot right now. I need to like vent out some frustrations. Everyone around me is affected by this.
Yeah, I
With
can
my attitude
imagine.
and everything, it's just bottled up. So,
But how do
yeah, I'm a
you?
mom. I had to learn how to take for myself. And like we have this society that says like we have to be such martyrs for our children, and we have to like not have lives and put that past behind you, and you can't have all these enjoyments. But I realized the more that I was selfish for what I needed, the more I was able to give them, and the more happier they
Mm,
saw me, and they felt like they were a part of it. They're like, go do comedy, mom. Like, you got to go do comedy. You've
oh,
got
that's
to go
so
get famous,
awesome.
make money for me, mom. Like,
Yeah.
you're so funny. Get back up on stage. Why aren't you doing comedy night? Like, they've actually been a huge part of this process for me, because they like seeing it, and I think it's important when they grow up. I want them to be happy, and I want them to know that they can do they need to find their passion and their dreams and fight for it too,
Yeah.
even if it's not your full-time hustle. Like, one day hopefully this will be my full-time hustle, but even as a
Yeah.
side hustle, it just brings so much more to my life than it takes away.
That's so cool. I think that there's this scary thoughts like, okay, every day I'm gonna come home from work and I'm just gonna be grumpy. It's like
Right.
I don't want that for my kids. But I
No,
think if
don't
there's
do it. It's a
but if
scam. You
there's
don't have
a
to.
yeah,
This is
I
lies.
appreciate that so much.
Lies.
But
Lies.
I think if there's
Come home
for
dancing. Yeah, your wife's going to
yeah,
want you to come home dancing with flowers, and your kids are going to want to climb all over you. Like, you need to have that joy, that passion comes from that place within you that you can't get from anyone else.
Yeah, and it's cool that you said that your kids are like a part of your comedy, because I imagine
Yes.
if you don't have the outlet to kind of like vent in whatever form. So for me, if it's doing poetry, if it's you, it's cracking jokes on stage, and you come home with this tension, like that's gonna resonate
Mm.
to the rest of your. Everybody's gonna feel that. But if you
Yes.
have that outlet to get it out, it just sounds like everyone in the house is gonna be happy. Like if mom's happy, everyone's
Yes.
happy. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not so like uptight and like I'm like laid back making jokes and stuff. And they're like, can we hear your jokes, mom? Like, and it's really special. You can have that. Anyone can. Everyone's entitled to that. Just give yourself permission.
have your kids seen your comedy?
Yes, they have. They have seen my comedy.
Gotcha.
It's they're adopted from foster care.
Oh wow.
So a lot of my comedy is kind of um, our journey becoming a family and the kind of quirks that went along the way because they were adopted as older children, and we had to kind of learn a lot from each other and rely
Yeah.
on each other a lot to communicate and to be on the same page. So yeah, they're a part of it. And I asked them, I'm like, is it okay if I say this? Because it's about you. And they're like, yes, do it. I'm going to say something silly on stage. Like, can I run it by you? And they're like, absolutely. We want to hear it. So
So okay, so you do run it by them.
yes. Yeah. It's their information. I respect them. If they told me that mom, it embarrasses me, it bothers me, I wouldn't do it anymore, but they're all for it. They love it. They show their friends the videos. They show their teachers like have come to see me do comedy, which is funny. They're
Yeah.
proud of. It's cool. They're like proud of their mom. Like it's great.
There's a video that you had posted. The first time I saw you do comedy was a video I think you had posted. And there's a joke, and I promise you, I was like crying laughing when you said it. Of like and I don't want to give the joke away, but like Amazon Prime Day or
Oh
something like that.
yes,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime Mom. Yes, it's my favorite joke. Ah,
Oh my
no,
gosh. Like I was like
yeah.
crying laughing. I showed everyone that video. I was like, listen, this is my friend. It was so funny.
And that's actually kind of a true story though, because like when I saw a picture of the girls from foster care, I was looking on this public website called Adopt Us Kids. So when people wanted to see pictures of the girls, I would log into my account on Adopt Us Kids. And they're like, what is this? Like you just add to cart? Like, this is like human trafficking. Like what is happening right now? And I'm like, no, that's how it's set up.
Like even the name Adopt Us Kids is just like,
This
I don't
is
know.
like Express Pass or something to be a parent. And so
That's
we
so
were
funny.
laughing about it, and we would all be like, yeah, you want to add some kids to cart? I'm making an order right now for 3. Anybody want any kids?
That's so.
And so everyone at work, we're kind of like, we made a joke about it. And because I was like, yeah, I can't make anything from scratch. I can't make humans. So I'm not a Pinterest mom. Like those moms can make kids from scratch, but
Yeah. No, that's hilarious. Adopt Us Kids sounds like the Tinder for like adoption. It's like
right?
swipe
Isn't
right.
it weird? Like it's so weird. But actually, like our adoption is kind of like an arranged marriage. It's like we're bonded
Yeah.
for life. We don't get a divorce. It's actually more of a commitment than marriage. It's
Wow.
it's like you got to learn how to like learn each other's languages, expressions. It's like you're coming from 2 different places, 2 different
So
planets.
when you started comedy, you were doing open mics just like everyone else, and then you've
Correct.
you've headlined a few shows now, like in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. What's
Yes.
it like going from open micing to headlining your own shows where your name's on the ticket?
Oh, it's great. It's great. And the whole reason why I did start headlining was because of negativity, which I like. I like to show like, oh, you don't think I'm good enough to headline? I'll show you who's good enough to headline. And like, I had my own show, and all my friends came, and it was like this. Instead of making it such a negative thing that I'm not good enough, it was like this powerful thing, and God within me, and the universe being like, yes, you are. Don't listen to them. Yes, you are. You're
Yeah.
just as good right now. And I called, and like everything just kind of clicked, and I had all these connections that I didn't even know that I had. And I'm like, wait, I already have the material. I have everything that I need. I could just go do it. And it was like
Yeah.
that negativity was like the push that made me get out there. Like, come on, let's go.
And then
Um,
So you've headlined a few times now, right?
Yeah, that one was my like favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
I got to open for some cool people, like Chris
Yeah.
Kattan from SNL. That was so exciting.
That was one. That was last summer, right? I think.
I think so. I think that was last
Yeah.
summer.
I
That
remember
was
I
a
saw
huge,
that.
huge thing for me.
I saw that. I was so pumped. I was like, way to go. Like you're killing it. You're doing it.
And I get a lot of heat. I get a lot of heat. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's just part of it. You gotta like ignore the haters.
So during this quarantine time, I know you're itching to get back on stage. And then recently you posted like a couple like funny videos mimicking Tiger King.
Oh
Is it?
yes, making fun of Tiger King. Yeah, if Tiger King were a woman, and it's this character that I made in my backyard, and I'm like this like pig sanctuary lady, and I just have the one mini pig and a bunch of kids.
You've had that pig for a while, haven't you?
Yes, pork chop. Yeah, I've had her for 3.5 years, almost 4 years.
Do you still eat bacon?
I do. I do
That's so
eat bacon.
sad.
I know, it's awful, but yes, love
So,
her.
okay, but like, so for the videos, are you gonna keep doing stuff like that?
I have some ideas to keep doing it. I got some feedback from people that were like, "You have to keep doing it. It makes me laugh." So if one person comes up to me and I'm like, "Yeah, keep doing it," it's
Yeah,
motivating to
I think so,
make more.
especially. Like, I don't know, especially during quarantine time, like you have to find like a creative outlet. You have to keep going. I was so scared that because I was finally like was like got the courage to do stand up here in Nashville and find different open mics to do them, and then they all shut down right away. And then the
Ah,
acting gigs that I had planned for auditioning, they had all
right.
canceled their auditions. So I was like, dude, what am I gonna do? And finally, I called my brother-in-law. I was like, hey, do you mind if I start a new podcast on my own and just, scrap the one? He's like, yeah, go right ahead. I was like,
That's awesome.
yes, creativity. But I don't know, if you're, like, I think now is a time, if you do have any creative ideas, you have a sense, more time. So anything you can do on
Correct.
your own, just do it. I definitely think you should do more.
Thank you. Thank you. I need that. I need that. Like
Yeah.
to.
What about podcasting?
That's great.
Would you do more podcasts?
I would do a podcast. I think that would be fun.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know
you
what I
would be
would
good
do
at
it on.
podcasts.
I want to do
You
a
have
podcast with my
so many
best
things you could do
friend.
it.
I like want to do a podcast with my best friend, and it's just convincing her to do it with me because we talk on the phone every day for like an hour, and it's over the most random thing, and it's like just humanity, like all of our problems that we're trying to figure out, and just like getting down and dirty and vulnerable. Like I think that would make a cool podcast
I think it
about like
would
being
too.
a mom, being a nurse, like what we had to go through, like not putting patient information or hospital information up,
Yeah.
but just kind of like my dishes are so dirty and like, oh no girl, my dishes are dirty, like, and then we have contests and
I
send
feel
pictures
like
over whose
I
sink
think
is
that would
dirtier.
slap though. Like you really should do it. I don't know. I feel like you would have
Thank
a
you.
killer podcast. So yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. So what else did I have for you? Oh, okay. So top 5 favorite comics. Go.
Top 5 favorite comics. Okay. Ali Wong, Whitney Cummings, Eliza, Chelsea Handler, Amy Poehler, and Tina Fey. Oh wait, that was 6. They're,
6. I feel like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are like pretty much one person anyways. They're always everywhere
I know,
together.
right? They're like double, right?
So yeah, I'll give you a
I've
pass on
read
that one.
I've read all of their books, like that they've read, like
Really.
their autobiography. Oh my gosh. And it just makes me like love their art even more. Just, and I got to see like most of them in person live on stage. And it just has brought this incredible like, masterpiece together before my eyes. It's great.
When you first started doing comedy, did you find yourself imitating them?
No, I like strive to be like them, like in their confidence and how they like their success and what they thought and their views, and I
Yeah,
admire them greatly, greatly.
gotcha.
They
But
don't
you
they
didn't
don't know it,
have,
but they're my mentors.
yeah. One day they'll know it.
Right.
Now are you? So in your Instagram, you posted about how you had to audition for a show on Netflix,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but that didn't work out, did it?
No, I've gotten so freaking close to getting like some really cool roles.
Yeah.
And that's something I can't wait to start doing again too, is acting.
Okay, so you
Uh,
do want to
I
keep
do
acting
more
because
auditions. Yes, yeah.
I remember in high school you did all the plays, and then
Yep,
you and then you did a short film a few years ago. I remember talking about that.
yep.
And
I got
then
to do one last year too.
really,
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a short film that my friend Ray and he wrote the script and we did it. So
do you
I had
like
a
acting on
short part in that.
stage? Acting on stage or acting
Um,
on camera better?
ooh, oh, stage all day long.
Yeah, I agree.
Theater. Yeah, it's the energy from everyone. I just feed off of the energy. Like people are in the audience. Like I can just
Yes.
feel them.
Yes. I
Comedy
did
is the
two
same way.
plays.
That's
I did two plays in Florida, and then I did a couple short films here in Nashville, and I did like some background scenes for like a big TV show here as well. And every time I just noticed the start, the stop, the start, the stop, the start, the stop again,
yep.
and then like there's no audience to like vibe off of. You can't just like
Mm-hmm.
ad lib in the middle of it. It's just
Right.
so when I'm on stage, it's like if I know like the audience is feeling it, like I might lean into something a little bit harder, or someone's like if I know they're not feeling it, it's like okay, let me you just readjust. I don't know.
Yes. It's just fun. And I just do it for
Yes.
that energy alone. That's why it's so hard to do these films. Like I don't know if people like it. Like you just
Yes,
I'm like, I
but
don't know.
it does take so much courage to just put it out there. It's like, all right, I don't know if anybody's gonna respond to this, but I don't. I think that's really brave that you just keep going. It doesn't matter. Like you don't know if it's gonna bomb or not. You just at least in on stage, if it's bombing, you can fix it somehow. You might be able to
Right.
save it. But yeah,
Right.
I think it's super brave that you keep doing it. And I think it's dope. I think you should keep going with it.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, all right. Well, we got to wrap this up. But thank you so much for coming. I really, really
Oh, thank you,
appreciate this.
Marvin.
You're definitely a really good first interview. So yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, I'll
All
talk to you soon. All right.
right. Sounds good.
All right. Bye.